In today's episode of Knobi Cooks, I have another all-round dish for you. This dish comes with everything you need and want from a dinner. Today I will show you how to prepare feta chicken with rice. Just as the title suggests, it comes with meat, cheese, vegetables and rice. What more can anybody want? If you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. First of all, make sure you have all of your ingredients, spices, herbs and utensils ready at hand. Since there's rice included in this dish, I'm once again using my trusty rice cooker. If you have one, use it. If you don't have one, you can of course use a pot for cooking your rice. Since this is a quick and easy dinner, we can already start setting up our rice for cooking. This holds true whether you are using a rice cooker or are cooking it the old-fashioned way, with a pot. Let's just hope no old ones invite themselves over for dinner. As always, we will start with our onion and with our garlic. We will dice both and afterwards we will start steaming both in butter or clarified butter. And an apology to my regular viewers, I hope I'm not sounding like a broken record to you, because that's basically how I always start my videos, with dicing the onions. I cannot help but smirk, because there are onions in almost every dinner I have shown so far, and there will be many more onions to come. So I really hope you are not annoyed by this standard phrase. And now that I think about it, maybe a question to you, my dear viewers. Do you find it interesting seeing me cutting my vegetables? Or would you rather see me going through the steps of my recipe without cutting the ingredients? Let me know down below in the comments what you think. My opinion is that for the absolute noob who has never cut an onion or a zucchini or whatever before, it is really helpful to see the technique of cutting vegetables and meat. And maybe even the more experienced cooks may learn this or that from my videos. So I am really torn on this decision. And while our onion and the garlic is sizzling, we can start cutting our chicken breast. To get smaller dices, I always first halve my chicken breasts. This way I have thinner fillets available to me. After that you can easily cut those fillets into strips and then easily start chopping those strips into dices. In this instance I didn't go for very fine chicken dices, though you can do as you want to. I probably was just lazy during the recording of this video. Once you have cut all of your chicken breast, simply add it into your pan and then start frying it alongside the onion and the garlic. I tell you, having a large pan available to you is just a blessing. I got this almost 5-liter pan, which corresponds to about 1.1 gallons, more or less 2 years ago, and ever since it has been in very regular use. I really do not want to live without it anymore. No matter what I cook, be it a one-pan dinner, a casserole, or am I simply frying a steak, this single piece of dishware is basically used for all of it. Though that's about enough praise for my pan. While the chicken breast starts cooking properly, we can already start seasoning this dish. At this stage we will add ground black pepper, salt and basil into our pan. Be careful with the salt though, since later on we will also add some vegetable broth and we do not want to oversalt our dinner. Once you have finished seasoning, start stirring and turning your chicken so it gets nicely browned from all sides. Normally you would cook this dish with turkey instead of chicken. However, I am not the biggest fan of turkey. Though you may swap one out for the other if you want to. If you ask me, that's basically a thing you can do for almost any poultry dish. And that's also one of the reasons why you always see me cooking with chicken. Because every other turkey dish I have shown so far on my channel was simply done with chicken instead of turkey. Now we can turn our attention to the next ingredient, our red peppers. Here simply halve each one, then cut each pepper half into strips, and from these strips you can easily cut your red peppers into nice dices. Go for finer ones or larger ones, it really is up to you. Once your chicken breast has had a chance to cook properly and get brown from all sides, it is time to add the tomato paste into the pan. Here I cannot give you exact measurements, simply add as much or as little tomato paste as you would like to. More tomato paste will of course make your dinner more tomatoey and also add more color to it. This generally holds true for most sauces. If you want to prepare a tomato sauce or a brown sauce or gravy, adding a little bit of tomato paste into the sauce when you are still frying your ingredients usually works wonders. Once we have mixed the tomato paste well under the other ingredients and it has fried for a little while, we can now add the red peppers into the mix and start frying them too. Red peppers are probably one of my all-time favorite vegetables. Whether it be pointed peppers or bell peppers, I think their taste, juiciness and oftentimes their sweetness too enhances so many dishes. Now it's time to turn our attention to the zucchini. If you ask me, the best way to cut your zucchini into small dices is quartering it first. Though you have to quarter it along the long side of the zucchini, meaning you basically cut it into very large slices. From there you can cut 2 adjacent slices easily into strips. Those strips are now way thinner compared to only halving your zucchini. And those strips in turn can then easily be diced. Fun fact about zucchinis, did you know that if you replant zucchinis over and over again from your own seeds, you may at some point end up with a poisonous zucchini? There actually is a poisonous bitter substance contained in all zucchini. Though the cultivated ones you can buy at supermarkets or the seeds you can buy are not affected by this because the bitterness has been bred away. Though if you start cultivating zucchini from your own seeds over and over again, the zucchini have the tendency to start producing more and more of this bitter compound over time. So if you have ever grown your own zucchini and they tasted very bitter, that may have been one of the reasons. Other reasons may have been drought or extreme heat. Oh, and I hope you have added your zucchini into the pan while I was rambling about zucchinis. And I will go on rambling some more. Did you know that zucchini blossoms are actually considered a delicacy? They will be harvested before a zucchini can grow out of them. They then can be fried or even filled and then cooked as their own separate dish. I hope you found this zucchini information helpful. If not, here you have it anyway. Since the zucchini contain lots of water, it is very advisable to put the lid onto your pot or pan. This way everything will get steamed more thoroughly and will be cooked way quicker. And while it's cooking and steaming, we can cut our Feta cheese. To get finer dices, I would first recommend you to cut your Feta cheese in half, then into strips, and only then after that should you dice your Feta cheese. That's a very useful way of cutting feta, whether you're including it in a salad or as a topping for a casserole, or like me, you want to add it into a sauce. After some time of steaming your vegetables and your chicken breast, it is time to add some vegetable broth into the pan. And alongside the vegetable broth, also add a small swig of water into your pan. The water, alongside all of the juice from our vegetables, will serve as a base for our sauce. And if anything happens to have burned into your pan, now is the time to start scratching it off. With the help of the water and all of the vegetable juice, any drippings can be cleaned off easily. Once you have done that, you can put the lid back onto your pan or pot and continue steaming your vegetables a little more. We are more or less only waiting for our rice to be done at this point. And once the rice is almost done, you can basically turn off the heat on your pan and let your vegetables steam or stew with only the residual heat left in your pan. And in the meantime, you can of course also add the feta into your pan, so it forms a sauce with the juice from the vegetables and the water we added earlier on. While we still have some time to talk, what is your opinion on Feta cheese? Here in Germany I can buy 2 types of Feta cheese. One is the real deal with goats and sheep's milk from Greece, which I exclusively use for cooking. In my opinion, it simply has the better taste. And there's a kind of shepherd's cheese, which is similar to feta cheese but made from cow's milk. How about you? Which kind of feta cheese or shepherd's cheese do you prefer? The real deal or the one made with cow's milk? Because I know that goat's and sheep's cheese is not for everyone's palate. Okay, by now my rice cooker is done with cooking the rice, which means we have reached the end of today's recipe. Our dish is now ready for serving. Simply put rice on top of a plate alongside your vegetable chicken sauce, and then maybe serve it garnished with some fresh basil leaves. Let me know down below in the comments how you liked today's recipe. And if you have cooked it yourselves, tell me down below in the comments how it tasted for you. This easy and quick to prepare all-round dish truly has everything in it you need and want from a dinner. No matter the season, it can be prepared with ingredients from your own garden during summertime or from ingredients from your supermarket in wintertime. I hope you enjoy my rambling about random and maybe useless facts about vegetables and food in general. In my opinion, it helps to bridge mundane scenes like me stirring my vegetables. With that said, I'm Knobi and I see you in the next one. Goodbye.